Ladies and gentlemen, give him a round of applause, give him a round of applause. Hello everybody, how are we doing? We all been to Roses before? Yeah, under very kind of different circumstances normally. So have you ever been to a night out in Roses? But I've seen someone get fingered right there. So it's a bit of a normal different setting. You know, you've got the bit at the back there where people like chatting in the corner there. That's the jogging spot. So it's quite a weird switch up to be here now, trying to do comedy. I don't know if you heard, but my name is James Smith, which is the fucking worst name for stand-up comedy ever. It literally is the most boring name you could possibly think of. So thanks to my mum for coming up with that one. And I kind of always thought, it took sort of 2 days for my mum to give birth to me. And you know when you apply for a credit card, and James Smith's already there as the kind of example? I think my mum had spent so long trying to squeeze me out, she just thought, fuck it, that'll do. And then put me on there. It's fucking warm in here, isn't it? I feel like I'm like Prince Andrew on the way to Bangkok on a Ryanair flight. I'm sweating, and I'm trying to hope that no one else is noticing it. So one thing that you not know about me, it's got quite a rare condition. It's called hereditary spherocytosis. Anyone else in the house with that? Woo! See, normally that bit works because no one has it, but it's hereditary, so the fucking whole family's there. So they're kind of stealing the limelight of that joke. But if you don't know what it is, because I don't know why you would know what it is, it's pretty random. Basically, 1 in every 2,000 people have it, which is roughly the kind of population of my hometown of Bolton. And if you've ever been to Bolton and heard of this condition, essentially with my condition, it makes you look quite pale, anemic, quite ill-looking. And to be fair, that's just everyone in Bolton anyway, so not much difference there. So one thing it kind of does with me, I don't know why I'm telling this to you here. I'm going to get really good and scientific about this one. So with my condition, it's quite a blood-changing thing. So you know, any doctors in the house that know, someone's a doctor here, aren't they? Someone's a paramedic. Essentially what it is everyone's blood has that little donut shape in it, you know, to catch like oxygen, you know, the useful shit we need to breathe. And my blood doesn't have that. So they're like really weird kind of special gobstoppers that do fuck all. And it's really brilliant because what it does is it turns me bright yellow and I go really anemic, which is really fun. And when I was little, it used to affect me quite a lot, so I spent quite a bit of time in the children's hospital, which I'm raising money for tonight. See, I think I've heard this is the algorithm for this set today. If your jokes aren't hitting, you just go, I'm raising money for charity! And then people have to come back on side, because if not, you're a cunt. Where was I? Oh yeah, I'm in the children's hospital. In the children's hospital, I was quite lucky. There are a lot of kids that are a lot more severely ill than me. But we all kind of had this like little communion space, which is quite nice. So we're all getting along. And when you're a kid, well, let's face it, kids are pricks. But not by choice, you know, you don't know much, you don't know any better. And there were kids on this ward with, unfortunately, leukemia, which are really good, they're really strong, they're really battling. That's why I'm raising money for them. But I didn't know that when I was a kid. But I really fucking loved Lego. And I loved it. I was very protective over it. So kind of one day, because this bit's fucking dark, one day I kind of turned to my mum. I was quite upset. And I just said, Mum, can you tell that little bold kid over there to stop playing with my Lego? And I'm looking back, I was a total arsehole. But I got my comeuppance quite recently. Karma swings round and kicks us all in the ass, especially my big yellow one. So I was doing my driving test quite recently, which was quite fun. Anyone else here failed a driving test? Anyone got any cool reasons why they failed it? I had someone the other day say, I had a risky pull-out, and I went, I've been there myself. Not on the driving test, he would have been very confused if I was doing that next to him. That's not why he failed. God, I've gone on to a tangent. So the reason I failed it, it's the whole kind of build-up towards this. I was getting this kind of crippling stomach pain that was kind of building and building and building. And you can't tell by my disposition on stage, I'm quite anxiety prone. So I thought, that's just the general anxiety cramps we all get. Turns out those anxiety cramps was appendicitis, which is just what you want when you're really trying to focus in on your driving test. And the main problem is at the moment, it's so fucking expensive to actually book a driving test. And you kind of have to pay some kind of shady online drug dealer to find you one. You're like, here's £300 please, I'd like one, in the next 6 years. And I've spent so much money on this that I couldn't even afford to actually do the lessons themselves. So I've just been knocking out games on GTA, which is quite fun. So if you kind of avoid the prostitutes and the strip clubs, it's quite an informative game. If you drive down the lights, you stop at the petrol station, you murder a couple of prostitutes. It's all part of the kind of learning parcel. But when I kind of got to the actual test myself, I was in so much pain because of the crippling appendicitis that I didn't know where I was. I completely blanked out, which is not good when you're in control of a manual vehicle. And I was in so much kind of state of in a different world that I didn't even realise that I was doing the driving test. And next thing you know, I'm back in the test centre. And if anyone, when you fail the driving test, you kind of switch over and have that little kind of debrief moment. I've just noticed my friend's fallen asleep on the front row. It's good to know, nice, fun. When you kind of build up to that kind of questionnaire afterwards, and they bring up those and they go, so James, how do you think that test went? And I turned around and went, I think I'm gonna die! So later on, I'm gonna get to the hospital after someone was gossiping all over the front row. Sorry about that. I kind of get to the actual hospital itself. Because my condition so rare that I mentioned about, even the doctors don't have a fucking clue, which is quite stressful when you're there, kind of like, sorry, it hurts here, and it hurts here, and it hurts here. And then you explain the kind of symptoms, and your doctor goes, and then they Google it behind you. That's really reassuring. And kind of finally, I kind of got out the test. I tested the fucking hospital. And the main thing they kind of do to kind of summarise the appendicitis test, even though they've done every other scan under the sun, they kind of, someone comes out and they kind of, I don't know, I'm looking at you sir, but they grab your belly and they go, so, does it hurt here? Does it hurt here? And then the last thing they do is they give you one big push and you go, ah! And then they go, yes, this man does have appendicitis. And after this, I've been on so many drugs that I've forgotten. And my lovely girlfriend came to visit me in the hospital, which was really fun. She's actually a police officer, so whoop for the 999. And I was on so much drugs that I kind of forgot this. And it was kind of bringing me back to like most conversations you have when you tell that your partner's a police officer. And especially with people that are my age that, do guns and like smoking and shit like that. It's quite fun when they're like, yeah, fucking hate the police. And you have a split-second decision there to kind of go between the two. So you can either go, like, double down and join in with them, and you go, yeah, fucking hate the police, dickheads. Or, then you can get this little brain moment. Hang on a second. I'm dating a police officer. I do fuck the police! Thank you very much, James.